Welcome back to our code diaries. I hope you are all preparing well. Here we don't just learn DSA, we build logic, learn code and grow together. Okay, so far we learned what is DSA, why it is important and what are the 5 important characteristics of an algorithm. They are input, output, definiteness, finiteness and effectiveness. We understood this concept with the real world examples. If you missed the previous video, I highly recommend you to watch it first because it covers the core concepts. The link in the description now. Let's go and start the video. Today we are going to answer one of the most biggest question every programming student asks before starting DSA. Which programming language is best for DSA? Is it Python? Is it Java? Or is it C++? You have probably watched many videos where some says Python is best, another person says no, Java is best, another someone else says without C++ you can't crack top companies. So, who's actually right? Well, none of them are completely right because there is no single programming language that is best for everyone. Every language was created to solve different kinds of problems. Let's take an example. Think about transportation. If you want to travel just 1 kilometer, would you take a flight? Of course not. A bicycle is enough. Now, imagine you are traveling from Bangalore to Delhi. Would you ride the same bicycle again? No. You would probably choose a flight. Does that mean bicycles are bad? No. Does that mean flights are always better? Also, no. It depends on where you want to go. Programming languages work exactly the same way. Whether it's Python, Java, C++, or JavaScript, each one has its own strengths, each one has its own weakness, and each one is designed for different purposes. Now, here is another question. If all the languages are different, why do people use all of them for DSA? Because DSA is not about the programming language. It's language independent. DSA is about thinking, logical building, problem solving. Imagine your teacher asks, find the largest number in this array, whether you solve it in Python, Java, or C++. Here, the thinking process will stay same, but only the syntax will change. Let's understand this with a simple example. Suppose I ask 3 people to write the number 100. One uses a blue pen, one uses a black pen, and one uses a pencil. The tools are different, but the answer is still 100. Programming languages are like those writing tools. The language change, the logic doesn't, and that's exactly what companies are about. Many beginners think if I learn the highest paying language, I'll actually get a high paying job. Unfortunately, it's not how the software industry works. Companies don't hire you because you know Python, they don't reject you because you use Java, they don't pay extra because you use C++. They hire people who can solve problems. If two candidates solve the same coding problem correctly, one using Java, another using Python, both can get selected. Your problem solving skills matter far more than the language you choose. So, in this video, we are not going to say Python is best or Java is the best or C++ is the best. Instead, we will compare them fairly. Here, I will tell you which language you should choose based on your career goals, not my personal opinion. So, whether you are a complete beginner, a college student, a preparing for placements, interested in AI, or dreaming of cracking companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, or Flipkart, this will help you make the right decision. So, without wasting any more time, let's start with our first programming language, which is Python. Let's start with Python. Python is one of the most popular programming language in the world. If you are completely new to programming, there's a high chance you have heard someone say, start with Python. But why? Is Python really the best language for DSA? Let's find out. Actually, Python is very easy to learn. The biggest reason beginners love Python is its simple syntax. Imagine you are learning to drive. Python is like an automatic car. You don't have to worry about changing the gears. You can focus on learning how to drive. Similarly, Python removes a lot of unnecessary syntax. So, you can focus on learning programming and DSA instead of remembering complicated rules. For example, to print hello world, you simply write hello inside the parentheses and double quotes, write hello world. That's it, very simple. Your hello world will print and come. It's not very complicated like other languages. Meanwhile, Python is less code, which is faster development because Python already provides many built in features. Think of cooking. One person buys ready made chapati, another person makes the dough from scratch. Both prepare the same meal, but one finishes much faster. Python is like having many ready made ingredients because Python already provides many built in features. For example, both prepare the same meal, but one finishes much faster. Python is like having many ready made ingredients. And the next thing, is Python good for DSA? This is the question almost every beginner asks. The answer is yes, absolutely. Python supports all major data structures like lists, dictionaries, sets, tuples, queues, stacks, and heaps. You can solve almost every DSA problem using Python. So, if Python is so good, why do many people recommend C++? We'll answer that in a minute. Before that, we'll understand the execution speed of the Python. Python's biggest disadvantage is execution speed. But why? Because Python is an interpreted language. It executes code step by step, which means it's line by line, which is generally makes it slower than languages like C++ or Java. Imagine three people traveling 100 kilometers. One rides a sports bike, one drives a car, one drives a bicycle. Everyone reaches the destination, of course, but the time taken is different. Similarly, Python reaches the correct answer, it just may take longer for very large computation. Hence, Python's execution speed is slower compared to some other languages like C++. Okay, now let's talk about will this affect DSA? For learning DSA, of course, no. For college assignments, also no. But for competitive programming, sometimes yes. Because imagine a coding context gives you 1 second to process millions of numbers. If C++ finishes in 0.8 seconds but Python takes 1.4 seconds, Python may get a time limit exceeded. Error. Even though your logic is correct. So the problem isn't DSA. The problem is execution time under strict limits. So in competitive programming, it can affect DSA. The one who uses C++ or Java, they can run the code and execute. Okay, now let's move on to memory management. Actually, does we need to manage memory? Actually, it's true. In previously built languages like C++ and all, we manually need to manage the memory. But now in Python or Java, there will be a garbage collector. They will manage all the memory. Let's understand. Python automatically manages memory. You don't need to manually free unused memory. Let's take an example. Imagine eating in a restaurant. After you are done, the waiter cleans your table, right? You don't clean. The waiter come and clean. That's exactly how Python works. It cleans up unused memory automatically so you can focus on solving problems. Now let's talk about libraries. One of Python's biggest strength is its huge collection of libraries. Think of a toolbox. Instead of making your own hammer, screwdriver, and wrench, you already have them. Similarly, Python provides libraries for almost everything. Like for AI, TensorFlow or PyTorch library is enough. For data science, Pandas or NumPy we use. For we want to develop web development, we use Django or Flask. Instead of building everything yourself, use reuse trusted tools like libraries. Okay, moving on to job opportunities. What about Python's job opportunity? We are doing video in 2026, right? So next 5 years we will think of. So let's talk about jobs. Is Python is in demand? Actually, yes, very much. Python is widely used in artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, automation, backend development, cybersecurity. If you're planning to build a career in any of these fields, Python is an excellent choice. Okay, we learned about what is job opportunities of Python. Now let's discuss the salary. Now, here's a myth. Many students think Python developers earn more money. That's not completely true. Companies don't pay you because you know Python. They pay you because you can solve problems, build projects, and create value. A Java developer with excellent skills can earn more than a Python developer. A Python developer with excellent skills can earn more than a Java developer. The language alone doesn't describe your salary. Your skills do. If you have more skills, you can earn more. Okay, now what's the future of Python? Actually, this is the main question. Okay, let us discuss. Will Python still have demand in the next 5 years? Of course, yes. Because AI, machine learning, automation, data science are growing rapidly, and Python is one of the primary language used in these fields. That doesn't mean every Python developer will automatically get a job. Companies will still expect strong DSA, projects, communication, and problem solving skills. Okay, now let's understand what are the advantages and disadvantages of Python. Speaking about advantages, it's very easy to learn. Its syntax, code, everything is very clean and readable. And Python also has huge community support, which means lot of videos on YouTube, lot of blogs, lot of websites, lot of courses and all we available. And also thousands of powerful libraries. Excellent for AI, data science and automation. And it's a good choice for beginners. And now let's talk about disadvantages. It's slower execution compared to C++. Obviously, Python is interpreted language, it will execute step by step, so it is slow. But C++ it's like directly compiled to machine language, that's why it's very fast. Can use more memory than C++. Actually, yes, Python use more memory than C++. And it's not the first choice for performance critical software or top level competitive programming. Okay, my final verdict, should you choose Python? Choose Python if you are a complete beginner, you want to learn programming quickly, you are interested in AI, machine learning, or data science, or related fields. But remember one thing, Python is not better than C++ or Java. Okay, now that we understood Python, let's move on to Java and see why millions of developers and companies still choose Java. Okay, now let's talk about Java. If Python is known for simplicity, Java is known for balance. It's one of the most popular programming language in the world and has been used for more than 25 years to build banking, software, e-commerce, platforms, enterprise applications and large backend systems. So why do millions of people still choose Java? Let's find out. Firstly, it's easy to learn. Actually, people think Java is more difficult. Actually, no. Once you learn the syntax, it's very easy. But not as easy as Python, but yeah, it's easy. Because Java has more rules. Before writing your first program, you learn about classes, objects, methods, and data types. At first, it may feel so much difficult, but those rules help you become a disciplined programmer. Let's take a real world example. Imagine learning to drive. Python is an automatic car, Java becomes a manual car. It takes a little longer to learn, but once you master it, you can drive almost any vehicle. What's about syntax of the Java? Everyone says syntax of Java is much harder. Actually, it's not. Once you master, you'll become pro. Actually, it is so easy. Let's learn. Actually, Java requires more code than Python. For example, to print hello world, you need to write system.out.println in the parentheses inside double quotes you need to write hello world. Compared to Python, you will write more code. But many developers like Java because its syntax is structured and easy to read in real projects and large projects. That's why syntax is not that much heavier. Okay, let's speak about coding speed. What could be the coding speed of Java? Can you build projects quickly in Java? Of course, yes, but generally not as quickly as Python. Why? Because Java requires more setup and more code we already mentioned. Imagine filling an online form. Python already fills many fields automatically because lots of built-in libraries. But Java asks you to fill every important detail yourself because it's very strict rules, standard, that's why, and disciplined also. It takes slightly longer but gives you better control, obviously. Once you are comfortable with Java, the coding speed will automatically increases. Okay, wait. Java executes much faster than Python. Let's understand execution speed of Java. Why Java executes much faster than Python? Because Java compiles your code into bytecode, which means class file, and the Java virtual machine optimizes it while it is running. Think of three delivery vehicles. Python is a scooter, Java is a car, C++ is a sports bike. All reach the destination same, but Java simply reaches faster than Python in many cases. But obviously C++ is much faster. Mainly, let's understand first the main important question, is Java good for DSA? Actually, the simple and straight answer, absolutely. In fact, Java is one of the most popular language for coding interviews. Why? Because it has excellent built-in data structures, though the collection framework like ArrayList, HashMap, HashSet, queue, priority queue, stack. Almost every DSA problem can solved efficiently using Java. Actually, almost everyone uses Java. The one who only chooses AI, ML like that, they chooses Python or else Java. Now let's talk about competitive programming. Can you use Java for competitive programming? Of course, yes. Many programmers achieve excellent ranks using Java, like LeetCode, HackerRank, CodeChef. In that competitive programming portals, a lot of programmers achieved excellent ranking using Java. However, C++ is still more common because of its faster execution and STL, which is speed time limit. So, if your goal is competitive programming, C++ often has an advantage. But for interview and placement, Java is an outstanding choice. Okay, but what about memory management? One of the Java's biggest advantage is automatic memory management. Since Java has garbage collection, imagine you are studying in your room. Every few hours, someone comes and throws away all the necessary papers on your desk. You don't have to clean everything yourself. That's what Java garbage collector does. It will come, it will check, it will scan. If anything which is unused, it can see. It will take and go and throw it. That's the automatic memory management meaning. What about Java's industry usage? Actually, Java is used almost everywhere, like banking, insurance, healthcare, e-commerce, large enterprise applications, backend systems. Many companies continue to rely on Java because it's stable, secure, and scalable. But wait, we discussed a lot of things, but what about job opportunities of Java? Is Java is in demand? Actually, yes, definitely. Java developers are consistently in demand for backend development and enterprise software. If your goal is campus placement, service based companies, or backend engineering, Java opens up many opportunities for you. Okay, now we understood what are the job opportunities. But what's the salary range? This is the main important question everyone gets. Actually, all the people think like which sector high paying job will provide, they switch to there. Okay, let's understand what's the salary of Java. Does Java pay well? Yes, but remember, companies don't pay you for knowing Java, they pay you for solving problems. A Java developer with strong DSA, projects, backend knowledge can earn an excellent salary. Again, your skills matter much more than the language itself. Then, what could be the future scope of Java? Will Java still be relevant after 5 years? Yes, obviously. Java is a balanced language. Many critical business systems around the world are built on Java, and companies continue to invest in Java. While new technologies emerge, Java remains one of the strongest choice for backend development and enterprise software. Let me teach you what are the advantages of Java. Strong object oriented programming, and it also excellent in collection frameworks. And Java is fast execution, and Java is huge job market, and Java great for placements and backend development. Then what are the disadvantages of Java? Actually, in Java we need to write more code than Python. My final verdict for Java. You want to software development jobs? You want preparing for placements? If you enjoy object oriented programming, then go for Java. Actually, Java is not the easiest language. It's not the fastest language, but it offers one of the best combination of performance, industry demand and interview preparation. And now we have explored Java. Let's move for C++, the language many competitive programmers swear by and understand why it dominates coding contest. Okay, now let's talk about C++. Whenever someone starts competitive programming, one language is recommended more than any other. C++. But why? Is C++ really the best programming language? Or it is only best for certain situations? Let's find out. Let's find, is that easy to learn? Is C++ easy? Actually, not really. But why? Wait. Because C++ gives you a lot of control over how your program works. You will learn concepts like pointers, references, memory management, and templates, which can be challenging for beginners. That's why. Okay, let's take some real world examples. Imagine learning to drive. Python is an automatic car because it has a lot of libraries and all everything is automatic. Then if Java comes, Java is a manual car because everything will be there, you need to put everything. But if we speak about C++, it's a formula 1 race car, which means it's very high performance, but you need to build by scratch. It gives you incredible control and performance, but you need more skills to handle it. You need to master. That's why beginners often find C++ harder than Python or Java. Is C++ syntax is good, tough or easy? Let's understand. C++ syntax is more detailed. Actually, every line of code, if you understand, you can think like what's actually beyond the code is happening, which is very, it improves your logical thinking. Simply it. Think of assembling furniture, like Python gives you ready-made chair. Like everything you have, you just start. You can sit. But Java, when you think about your chair with some instructions, like some rules, it's more standardized, as I told. But when you speak about C++, it gives you every screw, bolt, tool, everything you can start. That's why you build more yourself. You'll get lot of language grip. Okay, what about the coding speed? Can you develop projects quickly? Yes, but generally it takes more time than Python. But why? Because C++ expects you to write more code and manages more details yourself. Now let's understand what's the execution speed of C++. This is where C++ shines. C++ is one of the fastest programming languages. Why? Because C++ compiles directly into machine code. The computer understands it almost immediately. That's why. Okay, till now we understood coding it will require more time, but for execution it requires very less time. It's like a super bike. It will reach its destination very faster. But we are the main question here is C++ good for DSA? Actually true. Actually almost lot of developers use C++ for their DSA coding interviews because execution time will be very less. So, in fact, many people consider C++ the golden standard for DSA and competitive programming. But why? Because of its standard template library. The standard template library provides ready-made data structures and algorithms. Instead of building these from scratch, you can use them directly. That's why it provides a ready-made mode data structure. So yeah, C++ is very good for DSA. But for beginners it will be very hard. But if you are a professional, if you want to switch career, you can start by C++. If your goal is platforms like LeetCode, Codeforces, CodeChef and Coder or anything else, C++ is often the first choice. But why? Because every second and every sometimes, like every millisecond matters. So we understand for competitive programming C++ is the best. Let's speak about what could be the memory management. Like we already learned like Python and Java has garbage collector. If we use the things and we need not to delete because it will directly delete all the unused things. But what about C++? Like we need to give memory allocation like for array use this much amount of memory like that or similar like Java or Python. Let's understand. But unlike Python and Java, C++ gives you control over memory. Means you need to control. This is both an advantage and a responsibility also. But why? Because you decide when memory is supposed to be allocated and when memory is supposed to be released. Let's take an example. Imagine you are renting a room. Python and Java automatically return the keys when they are done. But in C++, you must remember the return the keys yourself. If you forget, problems like memory leaks can happen. So that's why C++ requires more discipline. You need to know when the memory should be allocation, when the memory should be deallocation, like that. Okay, if does C++ used in industry? Because everyone says Java backend, Python backend. Remember, speed and performance are critical. The C++ actually comes into picture, like game development, operating system, embedded system, robotics, and also high performing computing, financial trading systems. These are the places where we use C++ actually because here the speed and performance matters. Now, when it comes to job opportunities, is C++ is in demand? The simple answer will be yes. So there may be fewer openings than Java or Python, but many C++ roles require deep expertise. That's why they hire professionals rather than preferring beginners. So what could be the salary? Does C++ pay well? Because now we are listening Java, Python everywhere, but not C++. So everyone thinks like high paying job. Is that true? Actually, yes. Specialized fields, experienced C++ developers can earn excellent standard. But once again, the language doesn't determine your salary. A Java developer with strong skills can earn more than C++ developer. Meanwhile, a C++ developer working on advanced systems can earn more than both. It all depends on your skills, experience, and the role. We understood like job opportunities and the salary. But if I learn C++ now, in the future, do I have any future like learning C++? Will C++ still be relevant after 5 years from now? Actually, the answer will be definitely yes. Because industries like gaming, robotics, embedded systems, autonomous vehicles, and high paying performing computers or and more continue to rely on it means they today still they need C++. While new languages appear, C++ remains one of the strongest choice whenever maximum performance is required. Now let's overall summarize the advantages and disadvantages of C++. Like C++ is extremely fast execution and it is very powerful STL, which is standard template library, and it is excellent for DSA, best choice for competitive programming, like where the time is very important, that where. And also it's have fine grained control over memory. You need to allocate memory, you need to deallocate memory, so you have full of control on memory. Meanwhile, disadvantages, yeah, of course it's very hard to learn. For beginners it will feel very tough, and it's because its syntax is more complex. And another disadvantage is every time you need to allocate memory, you need to deallocate, so manual memory management. So Python focus on simplicity, Java focus on balance, but C++ focus on performance. Now that we have explored all three languages individually, let's put them side by side and compare them feature by feature to find out which language is the best choice for your specific career goal. As you can see on the screen, each language has its own strengths. There isn't a single winner in every category. If your priority is learning programming easily, Python is a cleaner winner. Its simply syntax helps beginners focus on logic instead of complicated code. If execution speed is your priority, C++ takes the lead. That's why it's the most popular language in competitive programming. If you're preparing for placements or balanced development, Java is one of the strongest choice because of its industry adoption and excellent balance between the performance and readability. For DSA itself, all three languages are excellent. You can solve arrays, linked list, trees, graphs, dynamic programming, and almost every DSA problem using any of them. Now, look at the all columns. You'll notice something interesting, like Python wins in easy of learning and coding speed. Java wins in backend development and enterprise software. Meanwhile, C++ wins in execution speed and competitive programming. And for DSA learning, placement interviews, library support, and future scope, there isn't just one winner. All of them are excellent choices. None of them in universally better than others. The best choice depends on your goals. Choose Python if you value simplicity and fields like AI, data science. Choose Java if you are aiming for backend development and placements. Choose C++ if you are passionate about competitive programming or performance critical software. Choose your language accordingly to your career goal. Stay consistent and keep practicing. That's what truly makes you a great developer. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our Code Diaries. Until next video, keep coding, keep learning and keep building. Thank you.